Hi, Miguel here, founder and tax credit specialist at Tax Hack Accounting Group.
And hi, I'm Rayleigh Wilkins, a tax credit and incentive analyst.
Today, we're going to walk you through how to complete phase one of the R&D tax credit engagement. Rayleigh and I are going to take you through each step and explain why it's important. So let's get started and jump right in.
Phase 1 kicks off our R&D tax credit process with what we like to consider the learning stage. There are 3 items in Phase 1 that need to be completed before we can move on to Phase 2. These are Information Request 1, the Project List, and Information Request 2. So let's go ahead and jump right into Information Request 1. You will receive Information Request 1 through the Client Portal. Once you open Information Request 1, you will see a link. Click on that link and that'll take you to the project list. In order to complete Information Request 1, you must complete the project list. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look into what you need to do for the project list.
Great. So as Rayleigh said, by clicking on Information Request 1, you'll be taken to a project list. The project list is an Excel or Google Sheet document that you populate that gives us an insight into the projects that you're developing. You'll also hear this referred to as the product roadmap. Essentially, we need key pieces of information to assess whether these projects meet the IRS's 4-part test, which you can reference in a different video. But for our purposes, we want to make sure that we're describing which pieces of information are absolutely necessary to have us get on with our work. The first column you're going to see is column B. That's going to be highlighted because we need to know the name of the product or project. We want to know what it's referred to as internally. Ultimately, these projects are going to feed into a survey that your employees are going to need to take. So we need to make sure that whatever we call these projects, that they make sense to your staff, employees, and so on. The next column you have is column G. This is description of functionalities. What we're essentially trying to figure out is, what does this do? What are the services and capabilities and functionalities, as the description says, of what this product does? That's going to give us an insight into the technological piece. That's going to give us an insight into whether this is innovative or how innovative it is. And then finally, you have column J. That's essentially us understanding who within the organization worked on this. This is going to be including C-suites. It's going to include lower level, perhaps interns. Really, we want to get a comprehensive list of all personnel involved in these kinds of projects. Last thing to be mindful of is that sometimes vendors can be included in this, as well as overhead costs like hosting and cloud costs. Be comprehensive here. We will ask questions to make sure that we fully understand before we finalize anything. The purpose of this is to make sure that we can get the best understanding possible with these 3 columns. Once you've populated this for all your projects, again, be as complete as possible. Don't worry about providing too much information. Go ahead and mark this complete, and you've now completed your project list.
Once you've completed the project list, you have now completed Information Request 1. You will then receive Information Request 2. This request gives us access to a lot of important information that we use throughout the whole entire R&D credit process. You will receive a checklist in Information Request 2 with certain documents that need to be uploaded to your profile. Information Request 2 asks you to upload certain documents to your client portal. With this information request, you'll receive a downloadable checklist that'll help you keep track of the files you have and have not uploaded. These files include W-2s or 1099s for all eligible personnel that have worked on your R&D projects. This is important for us to have so we know the salaries and state of residence for every employee in order to calculate your R&D tax credit properly. Next, we will need the company organization chart for the specified tax year. This is important for us so we understand how many hours have been allocated to R&D type projects or management versus any other day-to-day activities in the business. Lastly, we need your business tax returns for the 4 years prior to the identified tax year that we're working on. This gives us important information in order to complete your final forms. After all of these documents have been uploaded to your client portal, you have finished Information Request 2. Don't forget to mark this task as complete.
Once you complete these steps, go ahead in the Client Portal and mark Information Request 1 and 2 as complete. This will mark the end of Phase 1. But don't worry, we'll be with you each step of the way.
You will receive reminders and updates from our staff through every phase in the R&D tax credit process. For any questions or comments you may have, feel free to email your account manager or me at rayleigh@mytaxhack.com. We would love to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks for watching. We look forward to starting Phase 2 with you next.